Hi guys, my name is Russell and I make guide and race videos on iRacing here on YouTube. Here we are, it's the final week of VRS GT Sprint Season 4 2020. We're here at Silverstone for week 12. Great track. Probably a bit biased because I'm from the UK and it's not that far away from me. But it's a real historic racetrack. We are racing the more modern layout, the 2019 layout that when it came to iRacing. Perfect for GT racing here. Lots of track, lots of great opportunities for overtakes and some cool driving. So I think it's going to be a great week. We're going to do the usual thing. We will do the in-car lap, the chase lap, and then I'll break down every single corner from entry, braking points, apexes and exits and that kind of thing, and any little sticking points along the way. Don't forget too that you can download my setup for the Ferrari and my ghost cars from this lap that you're about to see from my Discord, link in the description. I hope you get some use out of it. I hope it's useful. If it is useful, please do give the video a like. Please do drop a comment down below and let me know how you're getting on here this week. It's the final week. I'm looking for a new series to do track guides on next season. Currently considering IMSA. We shall see. Let me know what you think about that too. Have a good week here, guys. I hope it goes really, really well. And if I don't see you in another video before, hopefully I'll see you out there on the track. Cheers, guys. Okay guys, this is the breakdown for my 1 minute 58.93 here at Silverstone. Obviously you need a really good preceding final sector to maximise your lap times here. We're staying on the left and we're looking down through the boards here. We're taking particular interest in the 50 board. Now as it approaches and we have this little access road to nowhere on the left hand side, we're going to want to come out of the gas, barely perceptibly touch the brake just to put a little bit of weight on the front end, and then we're going to start our turn in just after these lumps and bumps that are on this curb here. Don't worry, it's not going to cause any problems for the car, but as you can see there is a lot of movement here. So we've come over the lumps and bumps, we're halfway along this access road on the left and we're starting our turn in. We're out of the gas, we're out of the brake, we are just turning at the moment. And then as soon as we're about to hit this inside curb, don't worry about those little red marks on the inside of that curb there. They're not big sausages, they're not going to cause us problems. We're going to want to get back into the accelerator just as we're coming across here. Now I don't absolutely stomp my foot down on the gas here because it can upset the car a little bit, but we are going quite firmly into the accelerator. We're keeping the steering angle, and we need to do that because we're going to run out of exit here on the left if we're not very careful. And if we go way too far into the exit, the next left-hander gets quite dangerous, and we've definitely pushed it as far as you can here. If anything, I would have preferred to be exiting a little less over to the left. Let's see what happens here. So I've come right over to this curb, and then I've had to really toss it into the left here to get this to turn under full gas. Now we're pointing ourselves towards the 50 board, and we're about to start our braking just as the curbing starts on the left. There we go. And we're kind of braking at a slight angle off to the left just to give ourselves a wider entry into this really slow second gear right-hander. Tricky little complex this. So at this point we're now bleeding right out of the brake as we're starting our turn in. That's going to help us maximize our turning circle here. I say this quite a lot, but it's a really important part of driving the Ferrari as far as I'm concerned. And I actually took a little bit too, you need to get really close to this curb. I got a little bit too close, but thankfully it didn't actually cause me any problems. But as soon as we're on this apex here, we want to be right out of the brake. We want to be starting to accelerate. We're maintaining the steering angle. And we're going to point the car out diagonally again to the right now. And we're going to go about 2/3 of the way over. Now, we've started braking basically where this mound of kind of dusty dirt on the track is. And we're starting our turn in. So we're braking very lightly. We're not kind of braking. Oh, actually, I lie. We're braking quite hard, but we're actually braking hard for a very small amount of time. And we're really getting that turn in. We're down to first. And then we've got maximum turn in right on the inside of the curb here, right where the curb ends. And then we can start accelerating about 80-90%. And then as soon as that wheel goes under 90 degrees, we're into the gas 100%, and then we're going to tip the car into the left. And what we want to do with this next apex, doesn't seem like much this next corner, but if you enter it wrong, you are going to run out of track on exit and you're going to sacrifice, so you're going to scrub your tyres. You want to aim to apex it on the outside edge here, so it's a late apex here. And what that's going to do is, you're already much straighter than you would be. You can go full gas. You're making forward progress, quicker than you would be as if you apexed it, in the classic way. You've got a much easier exit here. So we're just going to keep the car over to the right now. Don't forget, guys, you can download my setup and my ghost cars from the Discord. The link is in the description. So we're looking over to the right now. We're looking towards the 50 board. And we're going to start our braking just as we approach it. We're basically kind of between the 50 board and the 100 board here. Sort of pretty much jam bang in the middle. And we're going to brake pretty hard here. And then we're going to start gradually tipping the car into the corner as we start to come out of the brakes, and we're going to slowly move down through the gears. Very, very easy to lose balance in this corner. Basically just skid out. You know, your rear is going to come out to the right and overtake you. So you have to be gentle on the initial input, gentle coming out of the brake, you know, gentle through the gears. If you over rev while you're decelerating in this zone, you're going to have, you know, you're going to have a bad time. So we've come down to fourth. We're letting out the brakes again. We're about ready to come down to third. And we want to apex over this green patch. This is our tightest turning part. We're back on the accelerator. We're staying in third gear here. The revs are going to be quite low, but that's not a bad thing. And then we're just going to tip the brake down into second. And we're going to turn in. And we're going to take a double apex here. So the car's going to come out wide as we're slowing. And we're going to tip the car back around. So we're at the maximum distance now. And as we see this red mark, that's our indicator to say, okay, we need to be turned in enough at this point. We need to be on the accelerator. We're going to ease in because we're steering hard at the moment. So we can't go flat out on the gas. We need to ease in on the accelerator. We're going to start unwinding the wheel because we've lined ourselves up nicely to allow us, there we go, to get all the way up to 100%. Use all the exit here, and this is fine because we're going in a straighter line. We can accelerate harder. We're not scrubbing the tires, and then we're gonna cut off as much of the track here as we can. Don't go over the grass here. If you go over the grass, cut the corner of the grass. That's it. That's a slowdown. We don't want that, but we can cut across the track here without penalty. Now we're lining ourselves up to the left, straight as we can. We're going to enter onto the curb, and we're looking for the little light patch of grass after the 100 board, and we're going to brake relatively gently just as we're approaching it, and we're going to slip down 2 gears to fourth. So we're going to be really quite high revs in fourth here. And we're going to tip the car in before the 50 board. If we just go back here. So as the Armco starts, on the right, the wall ends and the Armco starts, that's really when we're going to start turning in. It's just before the 50 board on the left. You know, pick a marker that works for you. We are going to let the car just sort of cruise. We're bleeding out the brakes quite quickly. Soon as we get to these sausages, we're back in the gas 100%. We're maintaining that 90-degree steering angle. And then we're unwinding it very, very slowly so that we can make this exit. Now we can go onto the green paint past the black and white curbing, but we can only go over it as far as those white triangles on exit there. Any further, it's a off track. If you go way too far here and re-enter the track further down, that's going to be a big old slowdown, big old ugly slowdown. So there we go. Now we're tipping over to the right. We're going to go all the way up to 6th, and then when the track changes to newer tarmac, we're going to steer into the left. We want to ride the red curbing on the left. We need as wide a wider entry as we can, and as soon as this red curb ends, we are going to brake lightly, as you can see here. We're going to come down to 5th, and we're just going to tip the car in, cut off as much of this next apex as we possibly can. We've got like a snaking S section here. So we need to late apex as best we can, or at least not exit too far over to the side of the track, because we've got to then steer the car back the other way, enter another corner. It takes a lot of practice, this, but the one piece of advice I would give you is don't over brake and then try and compensate by accelerating on exit between the S's. You're actually much better off not braking too hard and just letting the car gradually slow down. Stopping and starting is going to unbalance the car. It's going to tip you around. It's not gonna end well. So if you do anything here, just try and focus on not over braking on entry, and then not needing to massively accelerate into the next corner. Let's watch it all the way through. So we've tipped the car in, we've late apex, we're on the gas, but we only get up to about 95% there, and then we're braking mid-track. So we got to about kind of mid-track there. We're braking. We're catching the next apex here, and everything we're doing here is lining ourselves up for this very last corner. So we've got our late apex here again, so that's perfect. We're going to slow the car down one more time a little, and then we're going to get into the gas nice and gradually, build it up. As soon as we know we're going to make this exit, we can use this green paint, then we're good to go. Really challenging section. That's going to make or break a lot of people's lap times this week for sure. It's easy to get yourself caught out there as well. Now we're over to the left. We're looking to the 100 board. As we hit the 100 board, we're going to start braking. We're going to brake about sort of, 60% or so. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're going to come down to 4th. Then as we're broaching the 50 board, we're going to start our turn in and bleed out of the brakes as we come. And then we're going to drop one more gear to 3rd. Now, I made a bit of a mistake here. I entered too fast on this corner, and I got a bit loosey-goosey in the back end. So I kind of missed the apex a bit. It probably cost me about a 10th or so. So we want to be in 3rd here. And then really we want to be attacking this 3rd no-cut red brick here. And I'm not really sort of in it and on it. But we're down to 3rd. We need to be well into the gas by now. But we do need to maintain a really strong angle on the wheel, because this exit just kind of appears out of nowhere. And it's easy to pick up slowdown here if you go too far. So we're looking over to the right now, the 100 board. As we're hitting it, we're heavy into the brakes. We want to get ourselves all the way down to 1st gear pretty much by the time we pass the 50 board. So we're gunning down through the gears here, and we're braking really hard. And then as the curb ends, we're starting our turn in, and we're coming out of the brakes in a really consistent manner here, because what we want to do is get that car turned on this curb as hard as we can, back into the accelerator. We want to be mid-track here so that we can turn into the next right. And then a lot of people will just come out the gas here and then accelerate past the next big red sausage here on the right. What I like to do is actually just tip the brake ever so slightly, just put some weight on the front tyres, get really grip up, put it into 2nd, and then you can really be a lot more progressive and a lot more aggressive on the accelerator. Whereas if you're still in 1st gear when you're accelerating out of this next corner, you're going to get incredibly loose. At best, you're just going to scrub the tyres, put some extra heat into them, lose a couple of tenths. At worst, you're going to be spinning for days. So I tipped the brake there. We start accelerating out here very, very gently. As soon as we know we're not going to hit this sausage on exit, we can go full bore now. But we're maintaining the steering angle because this next apex can really creep up on you, and we need to attack it full on to be able to make the exit at full accelerator. And then the line is super close down this end of the exit, so there's no room for manoeuvre. And that completes our 158.93 here at Silverstone. I don't know about you guys, I've really enjoyed this season, and I've really loved doing the track guides here. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. Don't forget to let me know in the comments how you've got on, and if you've enjoyed this track guide, please do give the video a like, hit subscribe and that little bell, and I can keep you up to date when I do new track guides, new race videos and new live streams. Cheers guys, see you next time.